really interesting set of questions from Germany, and I'm trying to answer these. And the first question is about the lost decades. The Japanese economy has been stagnant for the last couple of decades. Actually, we say quite often the lost 30 years. And since the busting of the bubble economy, the Japanese economy has been stagnant. And the causes, I think, is probably partly demographic. There are less children being born in Japan. So, the vitality of society has been kind of stagnant. And that's one issue. And I think the other issue is probably cultural. The Japanese economy has been successful in the post-World War era, but that has actually put Japan in a box. There's some people say that who say that people are unable to think out of the box, and that is probably one of the reasons why the Japanese economy has been stagnant for such a long time. And my personal experience is that I have been doing okay. I have actually I'm the kind of odd one out. I'm not a typical Japanese person, I think. Uh, so I have been doing what I can in my life, and I have been, you know, finding life interesting. But I do see my fellow country people, complaining about the status quo and so on. And for example, I have been very critical of Japanese comedy, owarai, which is I think based on groupthink and peer pressure and so on. I'm more in favor of the kind of comedy like Ricky Gervais is putting forward, but that is such a minority in Japanese society. So I think there's a problem with the Japanese mindset. I can see that. So I personally have not been affected so much by the stagnant economy, but I do hope that my fellow Japanese would wake up in a way. And yeah. So, what are the long-term issues? Well, I think Japan has successfully made a really wonderful society where the life's needs are taken care of. The convenience store in Japan are really great. You can get anything, and many Japanese young people do not actually want to leave Japan because they find life here so satisfactory. But you don't know how long it would last. I mean, if the economy keeps being stagnant, maybe we cannot just find this system sustainable in the long run. So I think that's a really huge issue. So the next question is, what do I think of the Tokyo Yokohama metropolitan area? I think it's wonderful. I have lived in Tokyo for many years, and I find the Tokyo Yokohama metropolitan area so fascinating. There are so many interesting things, and so many entertainment, and so many great food, and the public transport system is really so wonderful. I mean, wherever I travel, I find the local transportation system less satisfactory compared to Tokyo Yokohama metropolitan area. For example, if you go to the United States, you need to have access to a car, and that's okay. But you want to just get on a underground or get on a JR train like we do in Tokyo Yokohama metropolitan area, and it's really wonderful. It's so convenient. On the other hand, we do have the problem of asymmetry between Tokyo and other localities. It's typical for a Japanese person to be born and grow in local areas, and then come to metropolitan areas like Tokyo or Osaka or Nagoya, and stay there, and get a job there. And so there's this import of people from the local areas, local Japan, into urban Japan. That would be the choice of each individual involved, but that can be really, um, you know, really, really strenuous situation for the people in um, rural areas because they, you know, grow their children and nurture them, and yet when the time comes for them to be productive, to be working, they go to Tokyo and Osaka and Nagoya. So the fruit of childhood, if you like, is not shared with rural area. So that's I think is a really huge problem. And the last question is about economics. No, Abenomics. The late Prime Minister Shinzo Abe did what is called Abenomics. I met with Mr. Abe several times when he was with us, and he was a nice person. Although some people have said that he's kind of a right-wing conservative, but he was actually very liberal in his views. Anyway, Abenomics. I think Mr. Abe tried to keep the interest rate low down so that he can, provide money to the market. But that has led to this kind of deflation situation, and that has been a problem. And I think what Japan needs, is a, kind of the regulation, change of the ways that we have been doing things. As I said, I personally haven't been affected by so much about in my life by these stagnant Japanese economy because I have been doing what I liked anyway. But in Japan, as I said, I'm kind of odd one out. Uh, I, I am probably acting free, much freer than my fellow Japanese people. So I hope, um, you know, Japanese people will be able to pursue their happiness in ways that will be aligning with their individual property. So anyway, so Abenomics has been effective to some extent, but at the same time, it has been associated with the deflation situation. And finally, what do you think of this yeah, stagnation in general? Well, so as it's kind of miraculous that Japan has remained such a you know nice country despite of this economic downturn, and maybe we can do something more about Japan, this nation, and what I have been doing, for example, by writing books on Ikigai and Nagomi, is kind of a gesture towards improving this status quo of Japan, and hopefully for people around the world. So I will keep doing that. A recent interesting development is, of course, artificial intelligence, and I would like to do what I can about, uh, you know, aligning Japan with the rest of the world for the development of AI and implementation of AI in society. So that's what I'm doing now. Anyway, so I remain cautiously optimistic about the future of Japan and the world in general. So anyway, thank you for these wonderful questions from Germany, and I hope we can be all in peace and pursue our own individual dreams.